story goes that Mark Twain, the writer and author of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, loved to go fishing, but hated to catch fish. And you few of you have heard this. The problem was that he went to relax. He wanted to just relax. But when he would get a fish on the line, it ruined his relaxation because he had to actually do something to get the fish off the line. However, he also found that when he was fishing, people didn't bother. Whereas any other time, people were always trying to get his attention. So Mark Twain came up with what he considered a perfect solution. He took a fishing pole, line, and bobber, but did not put a hook on the end. And so he would cast the bobber in the water and lay back on the bank so that he could relax all he wanted and not be bothered by people or fish. Well, in that respect, Mark Twain is a lot like a lot of Christians. They have their pole in the water, but there's no hook on the end. They're not fishing. They're relaxing. You know, when Jesus said to those fishermen so long ago, "Come follow me and I will make you fish for people," he was envisioning followers who would be fishing, not relaxing. Now, it's one thing to talk about, being an influence in people's lives for the purpose of drawing them toward Jesus and believe that's a good thing. But the talk really is worthless if we're not out there figuring out how to actually live that out in our daily lives. Now, the message last week revolved around the topic of personal evangelism, or sharing our faith and the love of Jesus with others. We looked at several reasons that Christians are often not intentional, making an impact in the world around them, in the lives of the people that God has placed around them. And we were invited to strive to be more intentional about making ourselves available to God to be used to make an even greater impact for Christ in the lives of others, in a similar way that Isaiah made himself available to be God's messenger to the people of ancient Israel. Just as Isaiah said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." We were challenged to be willing to say, "Here I am, Lord. Here we are, Lord. Send me, send us. Use me, use us even as a church faith community to draw people toward Christ and the message of hope and salvation that is only found in Him." Well, today we continue that emphasis on sharing our faith and the love of Jesus with others by examining some ways that we can actually be proactive at creating opportunities to share with others the hope, joy, peace, and fulfillment that a relationship with God through Jesus Christ makes possible in our lives. Now, last Sunday and this Sunday were a little bit different than my typical messages, and then I'm not digging as deeply into the Bible verses as I normally do when I preach and walking through them. But my hope is that during this morning's teaching, that we might be inspired to consider many different ways to live out this call of Jesus upon our lives, to seek, to go out into the field believing that God is prepared to harvest the persons of souls of people ready to hear and to receive the good news, to believe that the power and the presence of God truly is in our lives and available to us through a relationship with Jesus Christ. I even compiled a little handout of some of the things that I'm going to be sharing this morning, and I was going to put it out there, and I think I left it in my office. So I'll put it out there at some point, and I'll have it on the Welcome Center for the next few weeks. But I want to talk a little bit about what are some natural and inviting ways that we can open others up to the message of Christ and to spiritual conversations in their lives. Now, many of these are not necessarily going to be epiphanies, but I think the reality is in many cases we are not intentionally incorporating them into our lives. And so maybe you're at work, at school, with friends and family, and we all do this. "How are you doing today?" We don't really care. We just ask if this is what the thing you're supposed to do. It's appropriate. And so they give the standard, "Oh, I'm okay," and we go on. Maybe after they say that, you say, "No, I mean it. How are you really doing?" Now, you've just given them the right to share a struggle or a burden that they may be experiencing. They might just reaffirm that they're fine, in which case, you just say, "Okay, just check it." But if they start to open up, and they may, prepared to listen and be sincere. Don't say that unless you're willing and ready to hear and to be involved in their life and situation. Once you open up the door, you have to be willing to walk through it. You have to be like Isaiah, who said, "Here I am, Lord, send me, use me." If they see that you really care about their lives and their life and what's going on, it may open up the door to some real heartfelt conversations and allow you to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Simply by saying, "How are you really?" And I would suggest that the next time if someone says that to you, instead of saying, "Okay," maybe say, "Oh, things are going pretty well. You know, God's been good to me. I can't complain." Or if things are tough, maybe say, "Well, things are a little rough right now. God is good and has always got me through." We know that these simple references to God let people know that it's okay to talk to us about God or matters of faith or spiritual things. And you're a safe place to bring those topics up. Sometimes they might give you a little bit of an odd look, and other times they're going to open up and begin to share. But even if they don't, you planted a seed in them. And it wasn't that difficult at all. When a new person or a new family moves into the neighborhood, we know that sometimes people will take cookies or take them a pie, trying to be friendly and reach out. And the reality is that doesn't happen nearly as much now as what it did in previous decades. And we're all starting to live next to each other, but we're living our own lives and not connected. So maybe you reach out to them. Say, hey, let me know if you need any help finding your way around in the community, and then you sort of work that little in. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to be looking for a church home, I know a good one. If you're friends, or if you're with friends maybe out in the wilds, or close to the wilds, right, or the zoo, you see some strange-looking animal, you might say, "Wow, God sure does have a sense of humor." Or maybe, "Boy, I wonder what God was thinking when He created that one." You don't even have to look at the person. But I guarantee that they heard what you said, simply because you referred to God in the conversation. It wasn't preachy, it wasn't pushy, but it found a way to let them know that where you are and that you're open to matters of faith. Being out in nature, in the park, I feel really close to God when I'm in a beautiful area of nature. You might make a comment like, "Hey, what a beautiful world that God created." Or maybe even a question, "Didn't God make a beautiful world?" Which, of course, gives them an opportunity to answer as well. Someone's going through a difficult time in their life. How hard is it to say, "I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that"? And if I'm not sure where they are spiritually, sometimes I'll say, "For what it's worth, I want you to know that I'm keeping you in my prayers." Maybe it's a situation that you have struggled with, and you've been through that situation. I wouldn't suggest saying, "I know how you're feeling," because we all feel a little different, respond differently. But you might mention how God helped you handle the situation, how God helped you through it. And of course, one of the easiest ways to seek to be influential in the life of someone else is simply to invite them to join you at church. It's not pushy. Whether they say yes or no could open up all kinds of discussion. It may open up a bad experience that they had with the church that they were a part of, or maybe why they drifted away from the church. If that happens, listen. Don't try to correct them. Don't get defensive, but listen. And trust that God will give you the words to say. And I would suggest, ask them, let them know that you'll take them out to lunch and they'll come with you to church. It just might get them to take you up on the offer. You see, God has called us to fish for people. God has called us to go into these harvest fields, the world around us, and so many times we assume that people are not open. When God's word says, "I have prepared people. I am going ahead of you to prepare the way. And if you will take that step of faith and go out into those fields, I will honor you. And I will open hearts, minds, and spirits." The Bible tells us that nothing that ever goes out in God's name will not accomplish everything that God desires for it to accomplish. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13, many of us know this from memory, tells us that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Through the power of the Holy Spirit, as followers of Christ, Jesus Christ, we have strength so often we aren't aware of and don't tap into it. When it comes to seeking to make a difference and impact the lives of those around us and figure out how to do that, in a culture where the two things that you're not supposed to talk about are politics and religion, right? The courage to find ways, non-confrontational, but unopen and inviting ways to allow the Holy Spirit to come into that conversation. And you may just be blown away at what comes of it because you take that step of faith. But even if they blow you off, you crazy, fanatic person, the reality is you planted the seed and they know that down the road when they're struggling with something, that you're a safe place to talk. They might just thank you forever because of the seeds that you planted and how God worked through it to draw them to go to God and a relationship with Jesus Christ. Yes, with a little creativity, a little courage, we can find inviting ways to bring God and our faith into conversations we have every single day. We just have to decide it's what we want to do. And then we have to take that step and do it. And when God works, and He will, in really neat ways as you try to do this stuff and implement these ideas and plant seeds in the name of Christ to the people around you, be sure to share it. Share it with other Christians. Share it with me, because there's nothing that pumps us up than hearing a story of success and how someone's life was changed because another Christian cared enough about them to find ways to introduce and share their relationship with God through Jesus. And remember, I shared last week with you that on average it takes 25 contacts of one variety or another, the statistics say, before a person actually turns their life over to God through Jesus Christ. And numbers 1 through 24 are just as important as number 25. So don't be discouraged when things don't turn out like you would hope. Be patient. God is working. And you may just have been number 24. Friends, the passage that Kathy read a few moments ago, I want to share a portion of that again. It says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest.'" If we believe God's word, then we believe that the world, the fields, really are ripe for the harvest. That there are people that God has prepared and softened their hearts and spirits to hear what God has to say and what Jesus wants to do in their lives. But in order to bring in that harvest, we have to actually be out there working the fields and reaching them. I'm thankful that there are many who have taken that on as a part of what they do in their lives, to reach out and to share the hope and the message of Christ with others. And I invite us all to join together and say, "Yes, Lord, here I am. Send me. With your help, by your strength, in your power, and through your Holy Spirit, I will give you greater latitude to work through me and to speak through me into the lives of others." The only question that we have to ask and to answer is, will we go? Will we go? Will we take up this mandate, this challenge of Jesus, and seek to go out and to fish spiritually for people? That church doesn't just become our Sunday morning, once a week thing, our prayer, but it emanates out into every area of our lives and impacts those around us as well. I want to offer up a prayer in that direction. God, I believe with all my heart that all those who call themselves followers of you, your Son Jesus, genuinely desire to make a difference in the world. But it just seems for so many reasons in our modern world, so many of us have failed to take that opportunity. And Lord, seek to intentionally impact others around us in your name. God, give us courage. Give us strength. Give us guidance and direction. And Lord, give us a renewed and refreshed power of your and presence of your Holy Spirit. And by your strength, we will go. In Jesus' name.